a company backed by Disney, backed by NBC Universal, run by two Fortune 500 CEOs. On screen, Jennifer Lopez, Idris Elba, Chrissy Teigen, and over $1.5 billion in cash. 6 months later, it was all over. This is the story of one of the most expensive failures in business history, Quibi. In 2018, one of Hollywood's most experienced executives had an idea. Jeffrey Katzenberg, the former CEO of DreamWorks Animation, believed people no longer wanted to watch long-form content. He believed they wanted premium, cinematic shows under 10 minutes long, made specifically for their phones. To build it, he brought in Meg Whitman, the former CEO of Hewlett-Packard, one of the most experienced executives in Silicon Valley. Together, they raised over $1.75 billion. Investors included Disney, NBC Universal, Warner Media, Alibaba, Sony, and MGM. It was one of the largest pre-launch funding rounds in startup history. The product was called Quibi, short for Quick Bites. The idea was simple: Hollywood-quality shows under 10 minutes per episode, mobile only. They even built proprietary technology called Turnstile, which reformatted video automatically whether you held your phone vertically or horizontally. The cast was incredible. Chrissy Teigen, Idris Elba, Liam Hemsworth, Jennifer Lopez, Reese Witherspoon, Tyra Banks, Joe Jonas, Demi Lovato, Andy Samberg. Pricing was $4.99 a month, with ads $7.99 without. They even signed an exclusive distribution deal with T-Mobile. Everything looked perfect. The money was there, the talent was there, the technology was there. So what went wrong? Quibi launched in April 2020, the exact week most of the world went into lockdown. Quibi's entire concept depended on one assumption: that people would watch short videos on the go, on the bus, on a coffee break, standing in line. But during a pandemic, nobody was on the go. Everyone was home. And at home, people wanted long-form content on a big screen. Exactly what Quibi didn't offer. Katzenberg later told the New York Times, "I attribute everything that has gone wrong to coronavirus." But that was only part of the story. Here's where the real disaster begins. At launch, Quibi didn't let users share content. No screenshots, no clips, no posting a scene to social media. In 2020, there was only one real way for a content product to grow. Someone sees something, likes it, shows a friend. That friend subscribes. That's the growth engine behind TikTok, behind Netflix, behind every successful platform. Quibi had shut off that engine on purpose. Content couldn't go viral because there was no mechanism for it to go viral. They added sharing months later, but by then, the momentum was already gone. Another core decision: Quibi could only be watched on a phone. No TV app. Not even Chromecast support at launch. But think about it. During a pandemic, people were consuming content on their living room. TVS, Netflix, Disney+, HBO Max were all being watched on the big screen. Quibi had deliberately locked its users into the smallest screen possible, exactly the screen people were using the least. In its first week, Quibi was downloaded 300,000 times. Not bad. But once the free trial ended, most users left without paying. They never came close to their subscriber targets. By June 2020, the company knew internally they were far behind. Katzenberg tried to sell Quibi to Apple, to Facebook, to Warner Media. None of them made an offer. On October 21, 2020, Katzenberg and Whitman wrote a letter to employees and investors. "We are winding down the business and looking to sell its content and technology assets. Quibi was a big idea, and there was no one who wanted to make a success of it more than we did. Our failure was not for lack of trying. We've considered and exhausted every option. In December 2020, the entire content library, hundreds of millions of dollars in production, was sold to Roku for less than $100 million. A $1.75 billion investment closed out with roughly a 95% loss. Quibi's story teaches us three things. 1. Money doesn't validate an assumption. Quibi's entire business model rested on the idea that people wanted to watch content on the go. They never tested that assumption. They just built a billion-dollar company on top of it. 2. Distribution can matter more than the product itself. The cast, the production quality, the technology, all of it was excellent. But if people can't share something, it can't grow. 3. Timing can't always be controlled, but flexibility can be. The pandemic wasn't Quibi's fault, but failing to adapt quickly once it hit. Not adding TV support, not turning on sharing, that was. $1.75 billion, 6 months, and 2 of the most experienced executives in the world, all spent building on top of an assumption they never tested. In the next video, we'll look at a company that did the opposite, going from the edge of bankruptcy to becoming the most valuable toy company in the world. The story of Lego. Don't miss it. Subscribe.